Have you ever wondered what drives some of these people to go to school and shoot up the school? I mean, I hated school too. I hated my teachers. I hated some classmates, but I didn't want to pull up to that bit with a shotty, you feel me? So have you ever really thought like what drives these students to do this? I have. And I'm sure you have too. We about to see what drove this dude to do it. Let's hop into this video. Shout out to the gang. Let's go.
Got all the vibes. Yeah, I got all the vibes. I can't let you run. A nigga can't let you run. This rock star life got me on another high. It's fucking with my mind. All these drugs on my mind. I got all the vibes. Yeah, I got all the vibes. I can't let you run. A nigga can't let you run. This rock star life got me on another high. It's fucking with my mind. All these drugs on my mind. Getting to the
Good. Dark Knight gang and his thing. Gang. Bro, today I'm about to react to a video from Anna Solves. This one right here is titled The Devil in Devon Erickson, The Mind of a Teen School Shooter. Yeah, man, this is about to be fire. You already know. I'm in the clouds. I'm not even in the clouds. I'm on Neptune. I'm on Mars. I am gone. So this is about to blow my mind. I'm excited for this. Thank you guys so much for requesting it. Anna Solves, I love your channel. I see you're growing. Continue to grow, baby girl, because yo, it's fire. Let's hop into this video on this great Friday evening. Oh, yeah, I'm feeling great. I'm faded, too. Yeah. Shout out to the gang. I love y'all. Let's go.
Spree shootings happen way too often in American schools. We've covered some really bad ones on this site, but in this case, a truly heroic act meant that many lives were saved, even though it had a very tragic cost. Let's dive in. On May 7th, 2019, it was a typical afternoon at the STEM charter school in Colorado. STEM is a curriculum based on the idea of educating students in 4 specific disciplines: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Basically, it's a school with a lot of focus on using science in a more practical way. In 9th period, at about 1:50 p.m., the class in room 107 was analyzing the movie The Princess Bride when a student named Devon Erickson arrived late. He immediately walked to the other side of the classroom. After closing the doors and behaving very strangely, he suddenly pulled out a handgun and shouted, "Nobody move." Yeah, everyone was hella terrified. But before a single shot was fired, a heroic student named Kendrick Castillo hurled himself at Devon and tackled him to the floor. Unfortunately, he was very badly injured, but this gave most of the others a chance to escape. A moment later, a few other students piled in to stop the attacker. Their names were Joshua Jones and Brendan Biley.
Okay, shout out to the homies coming in there saving the day. You feel me? That's kind of dope. That's something I would have did as well. I'm not gonna lie. I would have hurried up and tackled him like, Dark Knight gang, bitch. Nah, let's keep going. This is a good video, bro.
They were very heroic. I can't thank them enough.
They managed to keep Devon pinned down until the police arrived, but Kendrick Castillo tragically passed away from his wounds. Unfortunately, Devon wasn't acting alone. Another student named Alec was patrolling another area of the school, but Alec was very quickly subdued by a security guard. The guard also stopped him from turning the gun on himself. Now, police recently started invading the campuses when these sprees happen, in order to speed up the rescue and stop them faster. But this seems to have panicked a security guard. The guard saw a muzzle coming around the corner and opened fire on one of the police lieutenants. Unfortunately, they hit another student instead. However, the police also sent in a bomb robot and did a really thorough search, as some of the tactical materials for making an explosive had been found in one of the attacker's cars.
Okay, this is a lot going on. Hold the F up. Okay, so let's digest it real quick because you know I'm faded, so give me a second. They caught the people at the school. They caught the attackers, the students that were trying to, you know what I'm saying, do what they were going to do. Cops come. The security guard doesn't know. He pulls out the blicky, blah, shoots a student. What happened? Did the cops end up killing a security guard? I don't know. And then the police sent in a bomb robot to search the school for a bomb because they heard that they could have explosives in the school as well.
Also sent in a bomb robot and did a really thorough search, as some of the tactical materials for making an explosive had been found in one of the attacker's cars. Once everything calmed down, investigators figured out what happened. Both Devon Erickson and Alec McKinney were interrogated by investigators. Now, why did they do it? Well, it sounds sounds like it was just a matter of time before something like this kicked off at the school. The school was a totally high-pressure environment, possibly because it was full of high achievers. Although the staff were trying hard to fix things, the atmosphere was considered pretty toxic. It got so bad that someone had anonymously called the Board of Education's director in 2018 to complain. They warned that it was creating a perfect storm for something exactly like this to happen. But the school actually sued Jane Doe to learn her real identity. They claimed that there was no evidence to support any of the allegations raised. In April 2019, the Wikipedia entry for the school had mentioned that anti-suicide programs are implemented, and they hoped that this would also help to reduce. But creepily, someone added an anonymous comment on the same day. It said, "Do they work? We shall see." Later, this was traced to a local internet address, but no one was ever caught for it. And anyway, I think Alec McKinney really disagreed about how successful those programs were. If bad things were happening at the school, he was a major target for the worst of it, as he was transitioning from female to male. I get the impression he had become a major.
Okay, this is a lot. Okay, so the school that they were all going to, high pressure environment, right? You heard that, bro, didn't you? I hope you heard that. High pressure environment. So all the students are under a lot of pressure. So people already knew something was gonna happen. Like, oh, it's gonna be some shootings, it's gonna be some suicide. You know what I'm saying? So they already knew that was gonna happen. And now one of the shooters was transitioning. Let's just keep watching.
As he was transitioning from female to
lot.
male, I get the impression he had become a major target for intolerant jerks.
I'm sure.
Basically, he did not have a very good time there. It got so bad that he'd even spoken to the school counselor about wanting to take his own life. At one point, they sent him directly to a mental hospital. Strangely, he was returned the next day, instead of the usual 72 hours. So after he was caught, Alex said that he had wanted the other students to experience bad things and have to suffer from trauma, just like he felt he had to do. But even with the bullying, he isn't very sympathetic. Although, there's a little more backstory for Alex's whole situation. He had a traumatic time as a preschooler back when he was known as Maya. His father made him, his mom, and her 2 other kids get into a car at knife point. Now, that's gotta mess you up, right? After all this, Alec began hearing voices when he was just 12 years old. He also suffered badly from depression, but he'd occasionally stop taking the medicine he needed to hear the voices again. He said this was so he wouldn't be alone. So, Alec, this was the perfect mindset to trigger something like this at the time. At his trial, they read a transcript between him and his mom. She asked, "Did you really fire a I taught you so much." And he said, "I have nothing left for me," which is hella bleak. As for Devon, at his trial, he claimed that he only went along with it because
Let's just keep going. I don't need to continue to recap. You guys can listen for yourselves.
he was terrified of Alec. They both felt alienated and alone and were sick of being targeted, harassed, and having mean stories spread about them. They'd been planning something like this for almost a year, but it must have just boiled over. On the morning of the attack, both students had a bit of a wild party at Alec's house, so we can assume his parents were away. Videos on cell phones show what was later called a chaotic scene. They hung out all morning, getting high on Class A narcotics and drinking vodka. These videos showed that Alec was kind of forcing Devon to take all that stuff. They also tried to set his mom's car on fire, but luckily it didn't quite work. So that's something. During this crazy morning, Alec threatened Devon with an axe. Then they went looking for the family weapons safe. Using the axe and a crowbar, they managed to break into the safe and steal 3 handguns and a rifle. Then it was time to go to school. Although right before they left for class, Alec wrote "The Voices Win" on his parents' closet in red nail polish. Ugh, super chilling. After all that partying, it's not surprising that they didn't make it into class until 11 a.m. that morning, though neither were in a state to do much until almost 2 p.m. Frankly, it's amazing they made it in at all, and it's a real shame that they did, isn't it? What was lucky is that the school had a radio that contacted the police and got them there in just 2 minutes. And of course, there was Kendra Castillo's heroic effort to
Okay, before we talk about Kendra Castillo, if she is, bro, so we see what's going on between both of these dudes, man. And what will make, especially Alec, what's going on with Alec, we see what will make him want to become a school shooter.
stop Devon from causing more carnage. Despite some
Hurt
delays
people,
due to the
hurt
2020
people, bro.
virus and the lawsuit taking up time, the trial finally went ahead in May and June of 2021. McKinney actually testified against Devon. He denied that the spree was his own idea and said that Devon was to blame. Devon apparently wanted to know how it felt to end someone's life, and also really hated the people in the class, which he specifically targeted. Alec added that neither of them were in a good place mentally, so they
clearly
hatched a plan to make it look like Alec's plot, and then Devon would come across as the hero once he'd taken down Alec.
As the plan did progress, we decided that it would be best if we blamed it all on me.
Crazily, at Alec's own trial, he sounded, kind of sorry. He even urged other people not to copy what he'd done.
The amount of pain it causes to anyone who ever cared about you, to the innocent people, don't be a coward and hide behind a be brave and learn how to get help.
That's a heck of a switch, isn't it? But do you think he believes that? Maybe the medication had started working, or maybe he finds jail less traumatic than being trapped at that school. Either way, Kendrick's parents really don't buy or accept any apology from Alec. Kendrick's dad even called his apology crocodile tears.
Facts.
Finally, on May 18th, 2021, Alec got handed a life sentence with the only chance of parole in 40 years. Devon Erickson was convicted to 46 counts and was given life without any chance of parole on June 15th, 2021. All things considered, I'm super glad that this spree wasn't even worse.
All right, bro. First and foremost, great video. Shout out to my girl Anna Sauce for another banger. What'd you guys think about it? Let me know down in the comments. I figured it'll be like some kid that, of course, can't deal with all his demons. You feel me? Well, not demons, but like he can't deal with his depression. He can't deal with his mental breakdowns. I knew it'll be somebody that's just like getting bullied. That's how it usually is. You know what I'm saying? It's usually those kids that just feel like the whole world is against them. So they come to school and they're against the whole world. You feel me? So, I mean, that's crazy. But yeah, they just need to get some help. Anyway, I'm going to see y'all next time. Shout out to the gang. Everybody have a great Friday. I had a lot of energy in the beginning. I'm glad I'm only doing 2 videos. I had a lot of energy in the beginning. Now my energy is really just like, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling really chill, really relaxed. But now I got to edit these videos. Oh, man. I'm going to see y'all next time. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow. Yeah, shout out to the gang. Everybody have a great weekend. Peace.